Hey, what's up guys? Sam here. Welcome back to another video. We've got some iOS 14 updates to talk about today. So first up is iOS 14.4, which Apple released the beta 1 version of to developers earlier today. And then we've also got some upcoming features to talk about that are coming soon within the next couple of months. So if you're excited for this video, drop a like down below. Hit subscribe for more. I mean, while iOS 14, it's been out for a while, there's still quite a bit more left in store. So let's go ahead and jump in. So just a couple of days back, Apple released iOS 14.3, which was by far the largest update to iOS 14 yet. There were a ton of new features, support for AirPods Max, the introduction of Apple Fitness Plus, potentially a fix for the messaging bug. By the way, let me know if that weird text message not getting delivered to you bug is still affecting a lot of you. For me, I feel like there is more consistency on the latest updates. But Apple is not done, of course, with iOS 14. We're really only about halfway through the release cycle, not even, because we won't get another new version of iOS until probably September of 2021. So today, Apple is forging ahead with iOS 14.4 Developer Beta 1 with a huge update size at 4.55 gigabytes. I thought for sure there would be a absolute metric ton of stuff included, but as you guys can guess by the vernacular and excitement that is in my voice, there's actually nothing new so far. In fact, I looked around the entirety of the settings app. I went panel by panel, by panel by panel, by panel. And I genuinely just didn't find anything to note. I mean, like, this is the password section on iOS 14.3, and then you get this screen that says passwords are locked for just a half second on iOS 14.4, but it goes away when the Face ID dialog pops up. You can see I screenshotted just before that happened. And same thing here. In contacts, there's a Siri menu in 14.4. But again, nothing to write home about, and no new functionality here. Like, I wouldn't even really count those as any new features or changes. And at 14.4, I have a feeling they're just bugs that Apple is going to work out. So 14.4 is here, which is weird, right? Because usually a huge 0.4 update would mean a lot, but so far there's just nothing in here yet. But don't worry, it's not like the entire update is going to be like this. Especially at this time during the year, Apple is known to roll out a major beta update with no changes inside, and a lot of the changes will come in beta 2 or even beta 3. Maybe it's because Apple is getting ready to go on a brief holiday break for the holiday season, Christmas, and everything else. Or maybe they just rolled out all the features in iOS 14 so far, which is broadly true. You might remember last year with iOS 13, and even in years before, Apple was getting into this really bad habit of announcing a ton of stuff on stage at WWDC, and then ultimately, so many of those features wouldn't roll out until days ahead of when the next major version of iOS would be unveiled. About a year after, we still wouldn't have some of the features that had been announced. This happened with AirPlay 2. This happened last year with some stuff on iOS 13, but this year, Apple's done much better. They've tempered our expectations. In fact, there's only one feature that Apple has listed on the entirety of the iOS 14 page that officially, well, they say it's supposed to be coming later this year, but it was potentially rolled out in 14.3. It's kind of hard to tell, which is the ability to share in-app purchases from some third-party developers with the rest of your family. You know, I don't really know how to gauge family sharing because while it's a super handy feature, I've never tried it just because I'm a grown adult now, believe it or not. So my family isn't really sharing a lot. Like if I had kids, I'd be using this constantly. It's a super good idea. Apple telling us that expanded functionality is still on the way. They've put a lot of effort with family sharing and the new kids mode on the Apple Watch. They've been making all this work together very well, but for most of us, I would venture to say it probably doesn't have the most immediate impact. But that's all right, because we actually have a couple of other features that Apple has confirmed that are still on the way, but from what I can tell, they are not in iOS 14.4 just yet, so they're probably coming in a later beta or even something like 14.5. The first is a super hot button topic right now around privacy. Obviously, this is something that Apple talks about so much that they do their best to uphold, and honestly, they do a great job, because in iOS 14, there are some really cool new features, like in Safari, throwing trackers off, showing you exactly what sites are tracking you, what URLs, what ad networks are following you around. And even in iOS 14.3, they added a new feature, I think right around here. Yeah, right here, where it can show you exactly what is happening when you download an app. To go hands-on with this, if you go over to any of your apps now in the App Store, it'll show you this new app privacy nutrition label where it says data used to track you. You can tap on this and you can go through all the different ways that Facebook has legally, not legally, but basically contractually disclosed how they track your stuff, which is pretty wild. That's just data used to track you. Then there's this, the data used to link to you. I mean, it's quite the hefty list here. And it's really great that Apple is finally giving us the ability to track this. Like, this is in the App Store natively. You don't have to go to Facebook's own privacy policy any longer, although, I mean, you could if you wanted to. This, though, is just one step of many for Apple. They're really showing a commitment here, even introducing one of the greatest features that we will have seen on the iPhone and iOS in years that has been delayed due to a lot of pushback from developers and specifically and coincidentally from Facebook themselves. So Apple previewed at WWDC that you'll actually have the option to deny ad tracking in apps. Now, this is a big deal because this is how advertisers make money. And if you deny that tracking, they're going to have a hard time marketing things to you and really finding what you want to spend money on. So this new feature looks like this. And it was supposed to come out earlier in the year. It did not. It got pushed back until Apple says early 2021. But they will be adding this into iOS 14. I have a feeling that it will be in a later version of the iOS 14.4 update. Right now, it's kind of hidden in here under tracking, but as you can see, it's not out just yet. So allow apps to request a track. It's not enabled, and this is like in every version, I think, of iOS 14, but it's not turned on. Apple simply has it ready, but they're waiting and giving developers a bit more time to adjust to this. Now, Facebook is not having it, guys. You may have seen this full page ad as they are playing the quote unquote good guy here, sticking up for small businesses to Apple. They're basically conflating a bunch of different things into their own argument to help make them more money and help make their ad ecosystem even better than it's been. It's pretty wild. Lots of hyperbole, them just basically crying because users' privacy is going to be tracked less with this new dialogue because they think a lot of users are going to say disallow, do not track me, which is great for us, but of course terrifying for one thing that Facebook is good at, which is tracking you until you can't be tracked anymore. I think this is incredible, and I can't wait to see this. The final feature that we know is coming to the iPhone very soon is support for dual SIM 5G. Now, this was leaked in a Verizon slide, and according to MacRumors, who were able to verify the authenticity of this document, it suggested it was coming before the end of 2020. But now, with iOS 14.4 here, again, no one, from what I've seen, has been able to enable this functionality. Again, it's like Apple's working on some stuff in the background, but they don't have anything concrete in iOS 14.4 just yet. So if you are looking forward to dual SIM 5G on one of the new iPhone 12 models, they are working on it. It is supposed to be coming, but as I've looked around, it's still not here just yet. The only other change in iOS 14.4 is that there is a modem software update. So perhaps Apple is working on that and it will be enabled like over the air sometime soon. But there's a modem update, just no support for dual 5G yet. So that's the state of iOS 14. Those are the features that are out now and the ones that are coming very soon. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this one, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.